We're here at Roundhead Studios with Chris Dent. Welcome to the show.
G'day, dude. How are you?
Good, thank you, mate. So, you've been playing music since childhood. You've played in rock bands and you've also sung a bit of soul and stuff like that. What drew you to folk music?
Alright, so folk music has been part of my life since I was a little kid. My folks took me to Auckland Folk Festival and the Devonport Folk Club, which is in the bunker inside of Mount Vic. And yeah, I've just done that pretty much my entire life, really, and amongst other things, I've dabbled in lots of other stuff, but that one's kind of been pretty consistent, I guess.
You also play in a band, Albi and the Wolves. Mm-hmm. You guys have just done an amazing collaboration with Mount Eden. How did you come about making that collaboration come together?
Well, so in the band there are four of us, and Matt Owens, who was our banjo player, he went to school with one of the fellas. And right. So for his whole life, he's wanted to, bring a song to the table with them. And that song happened to be our song, Fall With You. And they picked it up and ran with it. Very, very cool. Matt worked really, really hard to make that happen.
And as we've mentioned, you also play not only as a singer-songwriter, but also in Albi and the Wolves. How did you form this band, and how do you fit into the band?
Well, it's a pretty cool story. So I moved up. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Cool. But effectively, I moved up from Auckland, from Wellington. Sure. I lived there for a year or so, and I was really coming into not very much. I happened to play just a gig at a pub called Portland Public House.
Yes, yep.
And Matt Owens saw me there and said, I want to play music with you. Nice. And he kind of just persisted and persisted. I knew the double bass player, Michael Young. Sure. And Matt knew Pascal Rogan, our violinist. And between that, we kind of just... it fell into place and started to chug along really nicely, and cool. Basically have never looked back.
Magic was made.
Yeah.
Cool. So Chris, can you let the Push Play audience know a little bit about your writing process? How do you come up with constructing the songs?
Well, one thing I can tell you is it's kind of tedious, but I kind of have a few mechanisms in place. So I'll sit there and I'll play with guitar, and if it's a refrain or a chord set that I like, then I just play them and I sing and mess around with them. And I record the whole, so I'll sit there and maybe play for 20 minutes and I'll record the whole thing, but it's those melodies and those riffs that I remember in the morning, those are the ones that I continue on with. So it's like, cool, if that's stuck in my head, if that's persistent, then that's probably worthwhile. And then from there I just play it a lot, and I like to sing the whole song and pick the lyrics from that are the best and most coherent, and then I kind of slowly formulate them like that, just playing it over and over and developing it a little further each time.
So Chris, where do you see folk music, New Zealand folk music in particular, in the next 10 years? Do you see it as a growth market, or do you think it'll just be a slow, steady train, or...?
It's something that seems to be getting more popular. You look at Marlon Williams, he's a great example. He's kind of, I feel in a way, he's paving the way for a lot of people, but, there are folks like Aldous Harding and Delaney Davidson, and then you look at, bands like The Eastern and Mel Parsons. All of these people are names that are slowly becoming household names, and that wasn't really around 10 years ago, I don't think.
Sure, yeah.
So it's pretty neat. It's this style of music that's becoming more popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see it ever becoming mainstream.
Right.
Because I think people love roots music. They love dub and they love, rock and hip-hop and R&B. I get it. Those are things that people adore a lot. But I think it will be one of the things that people recognize and maybe recognize just a bit more. It's always going to be there, I think.
Sure. And as far as your career is concerned, do you think in order to hit those those bigger target markets, you will have to eventually look at overseas markets?
100%. Yeah. We're trying to look at them now.
Yeah, great.
So that's it. You kind of have to find demand for what you do, and absolutely. That is internationally.
So for Push Play audiences, can you fill us in on where they can find out more about you personally and Albi and the Wolves online?
Well, we've got a pretty good online presence. Cool. We have albiandthewolves.com.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Chris, for coming on Push Play. And now we are going to check out Remember Your Name by Albi and the Wolves. To view the full episodes, check out Push Play Music TV on dailymotion.com or premierproductions.co.nz. Tune into Push Play Music TV at 9 PM on Tuesdays.